You're up done, yeah? Alright. Yes, carry on.
And then I just progressed through from the under 9s and now play under 13s.
Alright then. That's good. And so where did you get the inspiration to play cricket? Like, where did you find the need, or who inspired you to play cricket mostly? Both of you, that's a question for both of you.
Cricket's in my blood.
Yeah.
All my family, my dad, my uncles, my cousins, they all played cricket.
Yeah.
I grew up in Luton watching teams like Luton Indians, Luton Town, AKCC. So just to watch the players there, they had such high standards. It just fell in love with cricket.
Yeah.
And you wanted to play.
And you, Isha?
As I said, I started with All Stars, but my dad always loved cricket and my older brother. So when my younger brother started playing, I used to go watch him, and then one day they were short of a player, so I joined in.
So you started from that. That's really good.
So I've got a quick question. When you guys started off this women and girls team, how many participants did you have?
It started at 10 to 15.
And now how many do you have?
Round about the same. At the moment, we're looking for players, and we're looking for not just players, but people that want to either umpire, coach, score, help out with the team. Cricket, the team's not just there for players. Yes, we do need players, but anybody can participate in cricket.
That's right. And so how would they be able to get in contact with you? Is there any information or anything like that around?
You can get in contact with us search for us on Facebook, look for the Luton Ladies team. Our email address is lutonladies.lticc@gmail.com, or you can have a look at our site, which is www.lticc.net.
So that's for the listeners who are listening and would like to participate during cricket, whether you be male or female, you can get through these contact addresses to get through there. So as you know, cricket has been quite a lot important in your life. So how was it how was your parents' reaction or anyone's reaction when you said you as a female cricketer, which wasn't as popular as it is now? So how was the reaction when you told them back before that I want to do cricket ahead?
For my family, I think it was about time. There wasn't in my back when I was younger. There wasn't that opportunity.
Yeah.
I watched friends and family playing cricket, and there was never a girls' or women's team available. Now there's so many, especially in Luton. When we started, we were the first ladies team. Now there are 3 ladies teams in Luton.
So who were the people that kind of thought that, okay, there needs to be a women's team and let's make one?
I think because it was just growing in the UK, the club needed to provide an opportunity for women and girls to play cricket. There's so many that come to the club to watch and support the teams.
And you just thought you could get them in the game.
Yeah, and there's daughters, there's sisters, there's mums there that wanted to play, and the club filled the gap.
All right, that's very good. So how many kind of awards or trophies have you lot as Luton Town women have won, roughly around?
We haven't been top. We're kind of middle of the table.
Yeah.
And that's just because we're still new.
Yeah.
And even now, this season, it's my first captaincy.
Yeah.
And the aim is to get as many women and girls participating in the sport, not just for this season, but for future. We want to build a club, a legacy, where women and girls have an opportunity to play cricket at any level. It doesn't matter your ability.
Yeah.
Whether you've played cricket before or you haven't, we can help you.
Yeah, that's very good.
So one question I would like to ask. So last week we had the Luton Town Indians men's team, and I asked them this question. What advice would you give to someone starting at cricket? And I'm going to ask you guys the same question as well.
I think just take that first step. Get in contact with us. Whether you want to play, whether you want to coach, whether you want to umpire, there's so many opportunities available that we can help you take that first step.
Because sometimes people are afraid of approaching a coach or something because they're worried that they're not going to be able to be a good player. But I think that's one of the best things of these clubs is that everyone supports each other. And I think cricket is the one sport where it's a team sport, so we lose together and we win together. So how is encouraging your teammates important?
We just had a conversation on the way here that cricket is a team sport, and it's not just playing it. For me, it's like an additional friend set, an additional family set. We're all approachable. We've got different age ranges. Everyone is there to help, and we're there to support each other.
All right, that's very good. And so, like, more about cricket. What would you say that, like, what are you, a batsman, bowler? So, would you like to explain what kind of role you play as a cricketer?
I'm the wicket keeper.
Wicket keeper. All right.
Yeah. My dad kept for years,
Yeah.
so it was just a natural thing for me to keep.
And you, Shah?
I'm a bowler.
Bowler, yeah.
But I've been an all-rounder for, I think only this year I've started, like, mainly being a bowler.
And-
I've been an all-rounder.
And what would you say the, like, you know, the difference between softball and hardball, the transition? How was that transition kind of look for you?
We start anybody that wants to play,
Yeah.
and I find that some people that haven't played cricket before are quite scared of the hardball.
Yeah.
And we'll start them off in softball. We all do softball,
Yeah.
and I think it's a great introduction.
Yeah.
And then as their confidence grows, we will introduce them to the hardball game. But only when they are ready. We don't want to push anybody. We don't want to scare anybody. And so we start with the softball, whether that be indoor or outdoor, and then gradually, when we feel that they're ready, we have that conversation with them. Are they ready to take that next step and play with the hardball?
Yeah, that's very good.
So what sort of facilities do you have in your club? For example, if somebody doesn't have any equipment, do you guys provide anything?
So the membership is affordable. It's one of the most affordable memberships in the team, in Luton. And equipment-wise, there are schemes that we have contacts with, like the kit recycling scheme. If you don't have equipment, we can help you get equipment.
And so where would you, in let's say in the next 10, 15 years, where would you see the women's cricket team being in Luton? How would you see Luton women cricket ahead?
Hopefully top of the table.
Yeah, that's very good.
But ideally, we'd like to have a setup where we have a cult section just for girls.
Yeah.
That can feed into the senior team, so we can start off with your under 9s,
Yeah.
under 11s, under 15s, and then feed them into a senior team. Ideally, it'd be nice to have more than one team.
Yeah. And so more on about Luton Town Indian itself. So how have they helped you? You know, help with the women's. Have they, the men's side, kind of helped you bring on the women's side? Or
Yeah, so I speak to a lot of the players.
Yeah.
And we like to, and they give us advice on
Yeah,
what we
yeah.
need to do, where we need to make changes. They help us with our training. Also with the coach now, he assists us on our training sessions. But the other teams are there to support us, and that's what you need. You can't have a ladies team at our club without the support from the rest of the club.
Yeah. So have you had any guests over from the women's side, you know, trying to help you, or kind of a little guest or something?
Not as of yet, but anybody that's interested, just get in contact with us.
That's very
So
good.
on our show, we usually ask some very deep questions, which we put our guests into a bit of a panic, but we're just going to ask some normal questions. So how has cricket changed your life? Like, in a general, because we always talk about how sport changes our lives. So I want to ask both of you, how has cricket changed your life? I know that's kind of big question.
So cricket, like I said, cricket to me, it's given me a friendship group and a cricket family that I will forever cherish.
Yeah.
But it also gives you life skills.
Yeah.
It's a team sport, so working as a team, perseverance, just that passion. It's transferable in your school, college, work life, and for me, that's how cricket has changed my life.
That's very good.
Because I play county now for Bedfordshire County,
Yeah.
so I've been like around East Anglia, and I've really enjoyed it. I've met loads of friends on the way. I've met loads of supportive and kind people, and and I enjoy cricket. I look forward to it every time I play. I look forward to summer. So I can
That's
play.
right.
So obviously meeting new people, you would say that it's improved your confidence and your social skills as well.
Oh, definitely. Massively. You have to. Cricket is a team sport, and you have to work together as a team.
Nowadays, if you look at especially young people, they go on the wrong path. They don't have a social bond or anything. But with cricket, that's where they can use. And I think that's one of the best things of a cricket session you can do. Come home from school, go to a cricket session, spend 2 hours there, have a good time, and get fit. That's the best thing about it. It's better than being at home doing nothing, isn't it?
Definitely get that fresh air in your lungs. Come and participate with us. we like I said, our age range, our youngest girl is 8. I won't say how old the eldest is, but we all get along and we're there to support each other, not just through cricket. We're approachable. If one of the players wants to talk, we're there to help everybody. It's not just about cricket.
And for the matches as well, so as we just discussed, you are, I think, middle of the ranking right now.
Yep.
So how are you thinking to progress forward? I think obviously you need more players.
We need more players. We've got obviously Numan as our coach, and the difference the impact he's had on us as a ladies team has been huge. He can see the individual skill set, and he helps them to improve, and he helps us work as a team.
So have you had any residential trips to different places playing matches, or overnight stays in as trip tours?
Some of the ladies last year went to Lords,
Alright,
and they got to play there.
How was the experience there?
Yours was great. We played in as like a girls' tournament. We played in the indoor centre, and it was one of my favourite experiences. I loved it so much.
That's very good.
So the opportunity and the pathway is always there for anyone.
For anybody, there's so many opportunities in cricket. It can open so many different avenues.
Yeah.
So I'd like to ask you, who's your inspiration for cricket? I mean, like as a famous player or something like that. Who do you see you look up to, look forward to?
As a keeper, I think obviously Donny has to be up there. But I grew up watching the likes of like Mark Boucher, and that inspired me. But more so, mine was my dad. He was an amazing wicket keeper. So for me, he inspired me. He was my motivation.
Yeah. So do you think for parents, if they understand more about cricket, because sometimes, especially Asian parents, they don't really want the child to play cricket. They want them to focus on their studies, get a good job. What message would you give to parents who are not really pushing their child to play cricket? How can you ask the parents to encourage?
I think sports helps you as an individual. It gives you those life skills. Just having that confidence will help kids in their school life, in their college life. I think if parents, they can come, they can watch, they can participate, and they will see the difference that cricket has on their child.
And I would say, how would you balance the work aspect or even education alongside cricket? How do you balance that around?
I mean, we train every Friday. Match days are on a Sunday.
Yeah.
We have girls that are going through exams.
Yeah.
We don't force them.
Yeah.
It's for us, obviously education is key, and so is cricket, and there's a balance there. Cricket can be their break from their education, just to get that free time to clear your mind, and then they can go back to their studies as well.
That's very good.
And it's a good stress release as well, playing sport, because your mind is focused on something that you're actually enjoying doing.
Yes.
So rather, especially, I think, what time are your sessions on Friday?
Fridays we train from 6:30 to 8:30. 6:30
p.m. So obviously when we come back from school, you're already stressed out for the day, and instead of just sitting at home, just not doing anything, come to a session like the Go session we're talking about.
Yeah, come to a session. Come to a session, release that stress, relax, and I think we have a great time at training. There's a great rapport amongst the girls and the team, and it's a great stress reliever, and it's great to keep fit.
So as a team, what would you say is probably your best match that you have played, or one of the best experiences that you recall of?
I remember, Lords, when I went to
Yeah.
Lords, I think it was softball.
Yeah.
But it was because of the facilities at Lords, obviously, is amazing.
Yeah.
And the opportunity to play there was amazing. And it's just the idea of playing there, and you take it all in, and you play, and it's just a really good experience.
That's very good.
So obviously seeing Lords for the first time, because as normally we watch it on TV. I know I'm asking very deep questions. So when the first time you went to Lords, what was your experience like when you saw it for the first time?
I was overwhelmed, massively overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a massive. I went to go watch the 100 during the summer.
Yeah,
And so when I heard I was playing at Lords, I was shocked, like massively. And when we got there, it felt just. I didn't think it was gonna happen. It's just crazy experience.
So was it just a 1 day trip to Lords, or was it overnight or something?
Oh no, it was just a one day. We took the coach there and then took the coach back.
Okay. So we're talking about, you introduce yourself. We're talking about your. So what is the future like of girls cricket in Luton? Do you think it's going to rise, or is it just in the middle right now?
I think it will rise. Like I said, when we started, we've been running 5 years. When we started, we were the first ladies and girls team in Luton. Now there are 3, and I think that will just grow. Whether it stays at the three teams, or 3 clubs, I think there will be more opportunities and there'll be more teams playing in Luton. One day, hopefully, we'll have a local girl from Luton playing at national level.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you planning on having any cricket guests coming over? Because I think 2 years ago, LTICC, he came over to a girls session. I can't remember where it was, but it was in Luton. So, is anything you guys have planned?
We haven't anything planned as of yet, but we'll post bits on our social media as soon as something is scheduled in.
And as per coaching or umpiring, do you have any female coaches or female umpires as of now?
So we have some of the playing members are qualified coaches as well, but there are so many opportunities. Like I said, we're not just looking for players. Those that want to coach, we can put you through the training and help you take those steps to becoming a coach or to become a qualified umpire.
So during your regular sessions, for example, if a new girl comes in who has never played cricket before, how will you, teach her, like from the basics? So you start off with softball and then you progress on to hardball. So when you progress on to hardball, do you do that only when the person is feeling comfortable, or when do you think that yes, they are ready to play hardball?
So the team at the moment, we have quite a few new starters this season, and some of them have not played cricket before. Some of them have played cricket a couple of years ago. So we'll play with both. Those that are comfortable and confident to play with the hardball can do, and then the others will start with the softball and gradually introduce them in.
I think that's the best way to balance it, because if you're comfortable with softball, then obviously when hardball comes, it's not going to be that difficult for you.
No, I mean, we had players last season that were petrified of the hardball.
Yeah.
So when we were training, those that are confident to use a hardball would do so, and those that were scared of the hardball use the softball. But this season, they're happy to use both.
So what are the ages of your club? Is it
So the ladies and girls team, we can take any girls from age 8 onwards, and you don't have to have any experience. We can put you through, whether it pushing you through, if you haven't played before, we can push you through our cult section to get the basics, and then come back to the ladies and girls team, and to continue through that.
I think that's the best way, because for all ages, sometimes people say, "Oh, I'm too young," or "I'm too old," or actually, most people that come up to me and say that I'm up. This is when I started playing. I was worried that people are going to judge me and how good my skills are. No one ever said anything. I'm going to be honest with you. Playing for wickets for 4 years, no one has ever said a single thing to me that you're doing something bad.
No.
They've always tried to help me.
Yes, and that's what the cricket's about. It's about helping the individuals to work together as a team. If someone's lacking any particular skills, there's those of us in the team that can assist. It's not just the coaches. If someone's struggling with their bowling, we've got plenty of bowlers that can help them and help them get their confidence and to help them with their skill set.
That's all right. And I had a question. Who would you say, or how many roughly cricketers would you say are improving in the game because you've been looking at them for quite a while? Who would you say is probably right at the top, or how many would you say are right at the top of the game?
I think in our team, I'd say about 25% of our team are at the top of their game. A lot of the ladies and girls this year are quite new.
Yeah.
Some of them have played before years ago. Some of them haven't played at all.
Yeah.
But every training session, and we've got one player, she's 8 years old and she's fantastic. She's got the confidence. When she first started, she didn't necessarily have the skill set.
Yeah.
But each training session she's improved, and it's wonderful to see her play.
So we always speak about consistency. Is that don't miss a session. Attend as many as you can. But if I ask you, why is that important? Why is consistency and dedication important in cricket?
As a team sport, you have to have that dedication. We win and we lose, we train and we play as a team. If you don't put that time in and have that loyalty to your team, the bond's not there. The bond it transitions onto the pitch when you're playing. If you've got that support of your team and you play together as a team, I think that transpires onto the pitch and the way that the team plays.
So as we always say, you win as a team and you lose as a team. I think every single match that I've been to, and you've probably seen this as well, if you lose and you come back into the dressing room, you don't be angry at anyone. We all support each other. We always say, okay, what went wrong today? But when we win together and lose together as a team. I think I'm not talking about other sports, but cricket is the only sport where I can clearly say that everyone works as a team. Even when we're fielding, we're batting, we all work together. I think some of the matches that when I started initially, I did not know any other players because there were some older people coming as well, and they've always backed me. They've always supported me. So that's one of the best things I think cricket can do.
No, definitely. I mean, if we've lost a game before, at the end of the game, we always have a team talk. Everyone chips in to say what they think went wrong or what they think they can do better. What do we need to work on? And you lose, you can't win everything. But as a team, that we work together and we look to find the areas that we need to work on to improve for the next game.
And what would you feel like the importance of diet within cricket is? How it's important diet is?
I think it's majorly important.
Yeah.
There's there's people that have obviously they've joined the team and they weren't fit to start with.
Yeah.
And as their fitness has improved, their diet's improved. And it's one of those that we play our games start in the afternoon in the summer. It's important that all of our players have a nutritious breakfast because it's a long day.
Yeah.
Especially when you're out in the heat, making sure that you've got a nutritious diet, that you're hydrated is very important.
I think in the second half of the show we will discuss fitness because that's the one thing, that's a good thing you mentioned, because fitness is very important, not just in sport but in your normal life as well.
Oh, definitely.
So obviously, if you don't have a good breakfast, then how are you going to be able to perform in a session? You're going to feel exhausted even in the warm-up.
Yes.
So I think in the next half, I think we've got a couple of minutes to the ad break. We will discuss about fitness. So just to how many is it?
We got 2 minutes, but just to wrap it up, would you like to explain about women's cricket and how they can get in contact with you again?
So you can get in contact with the Luton Ladies team on Facebook. Look for Luton Ladies. Our email address is lutonladies@lticc@gmail.com, or you can search for us on our website at www.lticc.net.
So this is again for the listeners who are listening, whether you're a mother, daughter, or sister, and you would like to join a women's cricket team, please do not hesitate to join in and get in contact with them about all this and that. And we've got around 1 minute to advertisements. So any other questions?
Any last thoughts before we conclude?
Like I said, it's open. We're looking for any girls, women, mums, sisters, cousins, join us. It doesn't matter. We've had 2 young girls join us this year. Their mother, she contacted me and said, look, my daughters want to play. I'll come to training as well. I don't know anything about cricket, but I'd like to come to train. And you don't need to have that experience. We can teach you. So if you're there, if you've got your daughter there with them and you want to play a sport together, why not come and join us?
That's the best way to make new friendships.
Anisha, any last thoughts on as well?
I would say if you're not sure, please just try it out. I've been playing cricket for 7 years and I've enjoyed every moment of it. And since I've joined this ladies team, it's just enjoying. I've made loads of new friends, and it's just a great experience. So
sorry to cut you off. You've got 3 seconds to advertisements. So we'll be back after the breaks.
FM Inspire 105.1 FM.
The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the most blessed nikah, marriage ceremony, is the one with the least expense spent on it.
A large and elegant wedding and events venue in the heart of Luton, catering for up to 1,200 guests, with a 5-star food hygiene rating, plenty of parking, bridal suite, family rooms and prayer facilities. Crescent Hall's the perfect venue for your wedding, events, parties and conferences. We have some great offers for summer. Contact us to find out more. Call 01582 723386. Email bookings@crescenthall.co.uk or search for us online and social media. Crescent Hall Luton. Conditions apply.
Food Bank energy saving tip. Switch off or unplug any appliances you don't need on. Appliances that have a standby light or are hot to touch when they're plugged in are using energy just by being plugged in. So next time you leave the house in the morning, take your TV plugs out of the wall and make sure every switch which isn't 100% necessary is turned off. Turning off lights and switching appliances on standby when not in use can save £851 a year on energy bills.
वेस्टबोर्न फार्मेसी हफ्ते के 7 दिन सुबह 9 बजे से लेकर रात 9 बजे तक खुली रहती है। हमारी सर्विसेज में शामिल हैं ट्रैवल वैक्सीनेशंस, स्टॉप स्मोकिंग, डायबिटीज चेक, बच्चों की ग़िज़ा और बहुत कुछ। लुटन और डंस्टेबल में फ्री प्रिस्क्रिप्शन, पिकअप और डिलीवरी सर्विसेज भी की जाती है। इसके अलावा आप मेडिसिन के इस्तेमाल के लिए फ्री मशवरा भी ले सकते हैं। वेस्टबोर्न फार्मेसी 198 B Dunstable Road, Luton, corner of Westbourne Road. Telephone 01582 419 432.
Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu narrated that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "If it was not difficult for my nation, then I would have ordered them to use miswak for each prayer." Abdul Rahman bin Abu Atiq said, "My father told me, I heard Aisha say, narrating from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, miswak is a means of purification for the mouth and is pleasing to the Lord."
Feed the Forgotten. Through the Feed the Forgotten program, we provide people with food packs that can support a family of 5 for up to a month. Over 828 million people will face hunger. More people die in the winter than in any other seasons. Don't let them suffer. Our Feed the Forgotten program works in 12 countries. Give now and we will deliver. Call the donation hotline on 0114 365 4454 or donate via familiesrelief.org.uk.
The Arise to Success show is based on a prophetic model where the Prophet Muhammad nurtured the personalities of the Sahabas or the companions and nurtured their talents that Allah has created them with in order for them to succeed and for them to be our role models as well. Similarly, in the Arise to Success show, I aim to highlight inspiring individuals and their journeys to success to be our role models too, as well as to inspire the Muslim community.
Every Monday from 6 p.m.
From the studios of Inspire FM, the time is now 6:30.
Welcome back to the Bat and Ball show after the break. Now I'm Hasnain, I'll be hosting the second half. And we've got our 3 guests in the studio. If you guys want to quickly introduce yourself again.
I'm Reena. I'm the captain and manager for Luton Ladies cricket team, part of Luton Town and Indians Cricket Club.
I'm Misha and I'm a player for the Luton Ladies cricket team.
And I'm Hashim, the co-host of the Bat and Ball show.
So in the first half, our guests introduced themselves and the Women Girls Cricket Club which they play for. So in the second half, we are going to be doing a discussion about health and fitness. So if I go around, we'll start with you, Reena, first of all. The importance of exercise, diet, fitness in cricket. How important is it?
It's not just cricket that it's important for, it's everyday life. If you don't look after your health, you don't eat the right foods, you just struggle for a day. And in cricket, it's even more important. Can be a hard sport. To have those concentration levels, you need to eat correctly, you need to be hydrated.
Yeah, Isha as well?
Well, I think it's like before every training session, before any game, it is always good to warm up, and because otherwise you will ache the next day, because it's a sport and you do like work out a bit more, but because cricket's played in summer, it is often quite hot, so you obviously need to be hydrated and have nutritious meals and stuff like that.
And obviously when you guys start your sessions, we always start with a warm-up, and obviously to have a good warm-up you need to be eating correctly, because imagine not having breakfast or any food that day and your coach asks you to do a lap around the cricket pitch. You're not going to be able to do it. No. So what's the point of even going to the session if you're not prepared? So what sort of tips would you give? If somebody who does not know anything about diet, about eating the right food, what could a good healthy breakfast be like? Just any example?
Mine would be porridge, bananas, blueberries, bit of peanut butter. plenty of water. It's
Yeah,
enough to help me to sustain me for playing a game. You've got the fruit in there, you've got the protein in the peanut butter and the oats, and that's what you need to sustain you.
Yeah, Isha.
Yeah, I normally have like a bowl of cereal before, and sometimes I eat like normally like banana in the car on the way there. And
Yeah, Hashim.
And I had a question. What would you say is mostly about exercise? What kind of exercises do you do as a warm-up kind of per thing during your women's sessions?
So running around the pitch, we do stretches, we do lunges, squats, warming up your arms. We do a drill at the moment where we use like a small court and there's 3 or 4 balls being thrown around. You're not allowed to stop. You have to keep on your toes and just build that heart rate up and get yourself nice and warm for playing a game.
Yeah, I think warm up is, obviously every sport they do a warm up, but the best thing about cricket is that there's so many different warm ups you can do. So it's not just the simple running. I think today we had a session and one of our warm up was that we had to, so we were indoors and we had to stay in a specific area, but we had to keep throwing the ball to our teammates and we had to call their name out. This was very great as, we got to know each other well because as it was our first session, but we were always on our toes. We weren't just standing still. We were improving our catching, our communication, and all these small elements in one warm-up drill.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite warm-up that you like to do?
We do something similar, to be honest. When we're in indoor, we use like a badminton court space, and the team will be on their toes, running around, and yes, we'll throw the ball. Anybody that drops a ball, which does happen, we as a team have to do star jumps or squats, and then we start again. So we could be counting to 10, 20 without a drop.
That's what Norman made us do today. He made us do push-ups, squats.
Anisha, what would you say is your favourite warm-up?
I was actually going to say the same thing. If I'm honest, yeah.
I think it's a great warm-up because it helps us just bond as a team as well. Everyone knows each other. Everyone can pass the ball around, and we can just have a little bit of fun while we're warming up.
So warm-ups, as we said, we've given you guys some examples, so it shouldn't be a problem. If you guys want to, before a session, maybe want to practice something, and what is the most common piece of advice the participants give you at the end of a session? Like, do they ask you, for example, I need help on my front foot, I need help on my bowling, and how do you handle that then?
We take note of it and put it into the next session. So anything that anybody needs any help on or needs to improve on, we'll put that into the next session and we can help them.
And what's the structure of that day? Let's say on Friday you got training. What's the structure? How do you start off and how do you end it?
So we have 2 types of training sessions. This season we've introduced some class-based training sessions where we learn the theory behind cricket, working through match scenarios, working through different bowling tactics, and the teamwork. And then the physical training, we'll start off with a warm-up, and then we can do some batting or fielding practice, catching practice, bowling practice, and then we'll move into a short game where we can put what we've learned into practice.
And how are the short games kind of fun, competitive?
I think they're more fun than competitive. Everyone is competitive that we play with, but I think because we've got that good team bonding, it's a bit of fun, and it's nice to put what we've learned in training into practice.
And how have been the net sessions so far that you have been doing during the summer times?
Summertime's nets have been really, really helpful because, I don't bowl, but I've been in the nets and I've faced Misha bowling. She's lethal. I've been even as a keeper. I'm in the nets. I can't stand behind the wicket when Misha's bowling. There's not enough space in there. But the nets are really vital. It helps you not just face a bowler like Misha or anybody else. We use a bowling machine as well, so we can vary the speed and learn to adjust.
So would you say let's say, because when you play softball, you don't play without equipment, then when you start playing hardball, you play with equipment. Does it feel like more professional, more kind of advanced?
Oh, definitely. And it's good training, because if you don't train with your kit on, if you go out to the match and you've put your pads on, you've got your gloves and your helmet on, you don't realise the weight. So to train with it is crucial, because then you're used to, when you go out for your first match, you don't feel it. It's one of those, it feels natural.
How was your first net session if you're batting? How was your first experience entering the net during batting or something?
it can be quite daunting because
Yeah.
it's just you in those nets.
Yeah. Yeah.
But once you get into it, I think you naturally just relax and you get to enjoy it. And then you can come out and you can think about what you learned in the nets, where you
Yeah.
need to improve. I love my first net
Yeah.
session, and I can't wait to my next one.
And you, Misha, how was your first net session, would you say?
I always love the nets because I think it's always like you can in the nets you can always like learn different shots.
Yeah.
And you could try new things out.
Yeah.
Which is always I think it's an important part because you can't do it really in a game. So if you're struggling on a ball, you can just practice that ball.
Yeah.
And one thing all coaches have told me and other players don't show off in the nets, because we might see sometimes players, they try all these crazy 360 shots. They try to do that in the nets. Well, in the nets, you're there to learn. You can do that in the game, fair enough, but in the nets, you are there to, improve your game. It's like revising for an exam. You're in the library, you're revising for the actual exam. And for example, if you're on the net and you keep getting out, what advice would you give to someone who is struggling early on in the nets and they feel like, oh, I want to give up, I'm not improving anything?
Take a breath.
Yeah.
Take a breath, think about it, face each ball as a new ball, and whether that's in the nets or in the match. You're not going to play the perfect shot every ball.
Yeah.
So take a breath, speak to your coaches, speak to your teammates, take some advice, and then try again. Just keep trying.
I've got a question for myself. I want you to answer it for me, please. That sometimes, like, this is my problem, is that when I play in the nets, I have this sort of ego or something. I don't know why, but I feel like I'm the boss. Like, whenever I go in the nets, everyone's my enemy, all the bowlers, and if I hear one good shot, I look at the bowler in the eye, give him some sort of arrogant or something. But the next ball, I completely miss it. So how can I improve that? Not trying to hit every single ball out the net. How can I, keep calm and everything?
You have to play each ball as it comes. You have to watch that ball.
Yeah.
And you can't have that arrogance. You can play that shot, that first shot.
Yeah.
Next ball, with that arrogance, you're going to make a mistake. You can't keep that arrogance. And the bowler will adjust. They'll see that you're arrogant.
Yeah.
They've seen the shot that you'll play, and they can spot your weakness. So take each shot as it comes. Watch the ball, and you don't have to be arrogant. Be confident to face that ball, and play a different shot each ball if you can.
I think it's too much T20 cricket I'm watching, where I'm seeing, for example, I don't know who, like Mitchell Stark bowling to Karen Pollard, and he gets angry, he sledges him a bit, and he shows him that I'm the boss or something. But yeah, I think that's very good advice. Just that's even my coach tells me, defend the ball. Don't hit everything out the net.
Right.
You're not showing off anything. You're improving yourself by having that mindset. You're only going to harm your own self at the end of the day, because no one really thinks, oh wow, you hit a good shot, you did well.
And I have a question immediately, if everyone can answer. What would you say your favorite shot is to play? We'll start off you, Hasnain, and we will make our way around.
Oh, favorite shot. Put it a straight drive.
And
anything on the leg. That is my favourite. Anybody puts anything on the leg, I'm going to tap it.
Yeah, and in my opinion, I would say cover drive, because I feel like it's more it's a clean, smooth kind of shot. It's just quite easy, simple, nothing too crazy compared to the other shots.
I like my ball shots. I think
shots,
it's a really powerful shot. I just really enjoy it.
That's good.
So we discussed a lot right now. Hopefully you guys are still staying in, watching the show and everything. Now moving on outside of cricket. Now, I think we've already answered this question, but I just want to ask it again, because the more we ask, obviously I need to put you in pressure as well in the show. So if cricket wasn't in your life, where do you think you'll be? What career? What would you be doing?
I've got my career now, but without cricket, I think just some of those skill sets of working in a team that you learn from playing cricket, that perseverance, that passion, I think I'd struggle in my work life without it.
Yeah.
You learn to work as a team, and my field is quite solo and independent, but I work for a company, so for us to work together, I've learned that teamwork is so important.
And when you, for example, finish cricket, like if you're international cricketer or just normal cricketer, and you move on in your life, you see that in life you have problems as well. But with cricket that helped you before, those problems don't seem that big, because cricket, you have so many problems. You're playing under pressure, and then your brain has to think, how am I, for example, if you're in a game and you only 1 wicket left and you are the main batsman on strike, and now it's all up to you now. So you have to use your brain. I think this is what MS Dhoni said as well. Cricket is more of a mental game than it's a physical game.
Yeah.
Because mentally you're under pressure. Like if you've seen the 2019 Ashes where Ben Stokes was the only man left for England, and he had to get England to the line all by himself. So imagine the amount of pressure that has on your in your mental capacity. So how important is that? Have you ever been in a situation in a game where it was just you left and you had to carry your team all the way to the victory?
I don't know if we carried ourselves to victory, but we carried on, we persevered. It's one of those that I think with cricket, you can't put that pressure on yourself or the team. You have to go out there and to enjoy it.
And what would you say you use to motivate yourself? How do you motivate yourself to just keep going?
I think it's just my love for cricket that helps me to keep going, but also I know that I'm playing for a team, and we have to work together. We have to give our all. And if I take a break each ball, if I'm struggling mentally, I'll go out, I'll take a step outside the wicket and I'll think about what I'm having for dinner or what we're doing after the match, just to get yourself clear your mind a little bit so you can face that next ball.
I think one tip I was taught is that when you're batting, it might sound a bit weird, but just sing a song, like not out loud, but in your mind. Just do anything, sing a song, hum or something. Because I think when I started playing, I was just afraid of getting hit by the ball. Any fast ball will come. That's where my focus left. And then I just started singing to myself, or anything, just getting my focus away, but always just keeping an eye on the ball. Because if you just think all the time, the ball's going to hit me, or I'm not going to play, that's what's going to happen. But if you just say confidently in your mind that I'm going to hit this ball no matter what, your brain is going to react that way. So positive thinking is so important when it comes to batting, bowling, or when anything in life. Positive thinking is the way to go. Because when you think negative, that's what's going to happen, and you're only hurting yourself by thinking negative.
I think in cricket, in my opinion, the most underrated position in part of cricket is wicket keeping. So how would you say wicket keeping plays a big role within a match or any type of cricket situation?
I never realised really how intense a wicket keeping is. I've watched, like I said, my dad kept for years, and you always think doesn't look that hard, but you don't. When you're out there, you don't switch off. As a batsman, you go out there, you bat. When you're fielding, if you're not a bowler or a wicket keeper, you can't. I wouldn't say switch off, but you have that breathe.
Yeah,
you have that. But as a keeper, you have to watch every ball. You have to be looking where the field is. You have to assist your bowler, and your mind's always switched on. So it is quite intense. But if you love to keep, then I think it balances itself out, but it can be mentally draining.
And as a keeper, you've got a lot of responsibilities because you have to keep an eye on the ball the whole time. If the throw comes in, you have to be catching. So it's a lot of work for a keeper. Because young kids, they think that wicket keeping is simple because all you have to do is stand behind the bowler, stand behind the batsman, and just collect the ball. But it's not that simple, is it?
No,
it's much more.
It's much more. You have to watch the ball, and each bowler is different. We've got so many different bowlers, and you have to be able to read the ball, watch their hands, see where it's coming. You have to be able to read that ball to be able to catch it.
Amisha, what would you say is, let's say you're running up to go for a ball, or when you're bowling in, the whole team's depending on you. So what do you do to motivate yourself, and how intense or scary is it when you're going for your first ball of the over?
I think if I'm an opening bowler, so if I open the whole match, it is quite scary sometimes. But if you focus on your lining length, and then if you take your first ball, and you can test the batter, and just then take each ball as it comes.
You've got the encouragement of the team, the keeper as well. We'll always encourage our bowlers, our fielders. Sometimes you make a mistake, sometimes it's not your greatest ball, take the next one, and we encourage all of our girls and women.
Even as me, as a bowler, when I had to open in few matches, I first got kind of nervous thinking, what if I bowl the wrong ball? And my first ball off the over went for a wide, and I was thinking, what have I done now? But as you gradually, the overs go by, and you get more and more focused in the game, your bowling comes kind of straight, and you eventually pick up wickets. What would you say as a bowler? What is your best wicket innings, or the amount of wickets have you taken?
I played a game for my school, and I bowled one over. I bowled 3 wickets.
That's very good.
And 2 runs came off the over. And I think it's one of my most memorable overs. I enjoyed it.
See, that's what cricket does. You have loads of positive memories, and you remember that for the rest of your life because, for example, in a match situation, if you took a crucial wickets and you won your match for your team, you're not gonna forget that. You're always gonna remember that. That my first game, what did I do? So, Misha, if I asked you at the beginning of your journey and now, how has that changed you as a person?
I remember my first match where I stepped in for my brother's team, and I remember I hit my first 4 runs, and it was like the best thing. I had loads of support from everyone around me, everyone at the club.
Yeah.
They were just all supporting, and I think it's nice, really. Just when you're doing well, it is always nice, but the support you get from everyone when obviously you maybe not be at your best, it's just
Like similarly today when I hadn't played cricket for 8 months. I hadn't put my pads on, and I came in the nets. And I remember I was struggling at the beginning, and then I fixed my grip, and I asked for a pacer to come inside in the net and bowl to me. And I remember all I did was just listen to my coach's advice. I think this is the best thing about all the coaches is that my coach took me out the net first. He saw that I was struggling. He gave me some tips. For example, my front foot. He told me to just keep my eye on the ball, not worry about anything else. That's what I did for the first time in my life. Did not worry about anything else, how fast he was bowling. All I did, I just watched the ball come out his hand, put my front foot out, hit a straight drive all the way down. And that felt good for me. So now I know that I can do it. It's not that I can't do it, it's that your brain tells you, your brain gives you so many excuses. Procrastination always, it happens to all of us. Sometimes if you're just not feeling well, you might not want to go to a session. What's the biggest tip you give someone who is being lazy? Because I think laziness is a big problem.
You can't afford to be lazy.
Yeah.
In any sport, not just cricket. And I think if you think you can be lazy and take an easy way out, you're gonna lose your wicket. You're gonna bowl badly. You're gonna drop a catch. You have to take each ball as it comes. I always say, you may have bowled a poor ball your first one, doesn't mean your second one's going to be there. You may have not hit the first shot. It doesn't matter. Face the next ball and try again.
And what would you say, in your opinion, is like the most difficult bowler you have faced in terms of bowling? Like, what type of bowler are you kind of scared of playing because of your batting ability? Or
I think for me, spin bowlers.
Yeah.
It's just you can't. You can try to read the ball.
Judge the ball, yeah.
You can try to judge it, but it depends on the wicket as well. Like if you face a spin bowler and the wicket's in their favour, it's very difficult.
And what would you say has been your best innings in terms of batting for both of you?
I can't.
I think as I said, I'm not really a batter, but I remember like last season and season 4, I scored like 25 runs.
That's very good.
And yeah, both good.
So what would you say that out there is to other kind of women who are trying to? Because I feel like people kind of separate cricket into genders, but I feel like it's all kind of falls under one because cricket is just a sport and everyone should be able to access the sport. What would you say to people who are unable to kind of access it, and how can they just try and motivate themselves and try some way to play cricket?
Just take that first step. Have a look for us online, Facebook, email us, have a look on our website. Just get in contact with us. You might be nervous. Take that first step, make that contact. Our training sessions, we offer a free training session, taster session. Come and have a look and see if you enjoy it. You get to meet the team, get to meet the coaches. We get to see what abilities you have or where we can work with you. And it may seem daunting, but once you've taken that first step, I think you'll enjoy it and you'll come back.
And what kind of skills or drills would you say you could practice at home to practice for your cricket? What do you both do to practice kind of cricket at home? Because during lockdown, everyone's at home. Lockdown, you always had to do something at home to stay active during cricket. What would you say you done for that?
Ball on a string is perfect for batting, especially for your drives. Hang it off something in the garden and just practice your footwork and hitting that straight drive. Keeping, throw it against a wall. That's what I did, and that just kept me going.
Yeah. For Christmas last year, my dad bought me a bowling machine.
Yeah.
So and I was struggling with my batting a lot last year.
Yeah.
But that bowling machine, it just helped and got me batting against the right balls, playing the right shots, and it's a good investment.
That's good.
I think that's the most important thing, is to keep it consistent at home. I think the best drill I have is shadow practice. You can just do it in your room. You don't have to be outside, because sometimes it could be raining outside. You don't want to go in your garden, but just get like even a plastic bat and just practice. 10 sets of a straight drive, then cover drive, then pull shot. As you said, pull shot is your favorite shot. Just practice that before when you wake up in the morning, before you sleep, and then these small habits that you do, and the next session you come in, you'll be much better. So talking about your sessions, so how many hours are they?
Training sessions are 2 hours. If you can't make it for the full set, that's fine. Come and join us. It's every Friday, 6:30 to 8:30, and we're both indoor and outdoor. Excuse me. And we do drills from fielding, bowling, keeping, batting. We do the whole lot, and then also we have our class-based sessions where we learn the theory behind the game as well.
And as you just said, take that first step. And I think that first step is the most important thing you can do, because our brain tells us, no, don't go to a session, you might be judged or something. But initially, when you take that first step, you're going to meet so many great people, and then you're going to want to come to the next session yourself. So immediately you made so many friends. And if I ask both of you, how many friends, I'm not going to ask how many friends, but what is the importance of socializing as a team?
I think it's key, and it helps you with your everyday life as well, just to be able to interact with different types of people from different walks of life. Cricket gives you that confidence to be able to speak to somebody.
And I would like to ask, you've been saying you've been in theory. What is your favorite aspect of theory, and how has it been going for you, for both of you?
For me, coach gives us a couple of drills where we work in teams.
Yeah.
And he'll set a scenario. Say, for example, team one, you'll set your bowling, you're bowling and you're fielding for the first 10 overs of a game, and we discuss it as a team. Some new players don't know what fielding positions are, so they're getting to learn it. Part of our homework over Christmas was to learn fielding positions, and some of the girls have come back to their first class-based and they know the fielding positions now. I think the classroom-based ones are brilliant. Just being able to use your brain more. I think sometimes on a pitch, people can freeze and your mind goes blank sometimes.
Yeah.
So learn that theory, and you get to see it out in the field. You've learned it. You can put it into practice.
What would you say, Misha? Same question. As per theory, what would you say is your favorite bit of theory, and how are you finding it so far?
I enjoy the theory. I think it's always good, be able to bowl, bat, field. But if you don't understand, just as you said, the fielding positions, where you can place a field, and just the theory based side.
And what would you say your favorite fielding position is?
Oh, I like going mid wicket, because you get a lot of catches, and even though the ball may come fast, sometimes it's an adrenaline boost.
Yeah.
So we got 30 seconds left to the show finishes. So thank you guys for being on the show today. Any final points before we sum up today's show?
Any girls or women out there that want to play cricket, just get in contact with us. We're Luton Ladies Cricket Team, part of Luton Town and Indians Cricket Club. Have a look at us at www.lticc.net.
So thank you everyone for being on today's show. And next week we will have some guests coming over again. Until then, stay tuned, listen to the Bat and Ball Show. Thank you very much.